Hey everyone, it's time to finish off the Ninjago set Temple of Airjitzu. This is bag number 11, which will add the roof and some more detail to the top of the temple here. If you haven't done so already, please check out the other parts of this video to see how the rest of this construction has gone so far. Let's get into it. Each level has been slightly different from the one below. Now we have some more loose items which are going to go into a bucket, and the bucket has, or the basket has a sticker. It's the last sticker in the set. And the sticker says, Cole's stuff, hands off. Cole is a minifigure from the first part of the build. So while the items are loose, they go in the bucket, and luckily the bucket has a lid. Goes right up here. So Cole keeps his stuff in the attic. Okay, time for the roof. Fairly simple construction for the roof. There's the roof. Pretty simple. Now this should sit right in here, just like that. Now you can really see Cole's stuff is really tucked into the attic there. There's one last part to the roof. It's a spire that goes on the top. This just goes on top. It's just going to be above the range of my camera. Now, there's some stuff that goes on the inside. Looks like a tea set is what we're going to do next. It's a really cute teapot. Tea set with a bowl. Now there's two loose items that go in the bowl, like little flowers. And I've already mentioned I hate loose items, so I'm going to actually affix these to the set after, but I'll take a picture of what it's supposed to look like. So that's what it looks like with the loose items in the bowl. But since I hate the loose items because they're going to just get lost when I move the set around, I'm going to just attach them together. I'm going to move the bowl over and just attach the loose items to the top of the table so they can't go anywhere. Now this sits, unfortunately, it just sits loosely on the ground in here. Again, I don't like that. I'm going to, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just thinking to myself here, I'm going to grab some of the extra parts that came with this set. A couple extra little round 1x1s. I'm going to attach them to the bottom so they stick out far enough that I can actually affix this to a stud. And now I could affix this to the middle, and now that's attached. That can't go anywhere. Now we have even more loose items. We have a table here. It's supposed to go way up here and just sit there. Next couple things, a couple of books. Well, more than a couple, 3. And some printed bricks. Now these books, they can snap shut, and there's supposed to be some stuff in here, so this is okay. The printed brick of the envelope can go in here. There's a bookshelf up here. The books are supposed to go in there. For the most part, the books will stay on the shelf. One of them might come out. And the easel is supposed to sit on the table. But again, because it's going to be loose, I don't want it to be loose. So I'm going to take Woo here, and I'm going to attach the easel to him, and the paintbrush to him, and I'll stick him up here. All right, for this table, the table loosely sits in there. How am I going to affix it? I might just try tucking it in a corner to take a 1x1 stud and then wedge the table in the corner. It's still loose. It can still pop out vertically, but it can't move horizontally now. So I'm just going to leave that like that. Well, that's the end of bag number 11. It took a bit longer than I thought due to all the futzing around with the loose pieces. Next up is bag number 12, which will finish off the outside of the temple with some awning covers. There's going to be some repetitive construction here, so this should go rather quickly. First up, we have 2 more minifigs. This is Zane, and this guy's name is a bit of a mouthful. This is Postman Facture Cartago. Okay, so this can rotate like that. This goes on the bottom. Interesting. How does this get rotated back out again? I don't know why it showed it being rotated. Pin goes through here. And now these can be bent up a little bit, like that. Now, the rest of the sides are similar construction, so I'm just going to go ahead and do them all before I install them onto the main set. Okay, all of those assemblies we just did, I'm going to go into the main build. There's a pocket right here where this gets put in it. And at first I'm like, wait a minute, am I missing a brick? Because there's no receiving end for this, but it's buried in that pocket. And that's the only thing holding this on. So if I just jam that in there, yep, there we go. And that's the only thing holding that, is that one piece in the middle. It doesn't sit on the outer sides like I thought it might. But I could lower these a little bit so that they do touch. Now all of them get installed the same way. 2 at the top. And that's the end of bag number 12. Got the roof on. Roof and the side awnings. Well, that construction was rather repetitive, but the end result looks nice. The temple is now finished. Now there's a couple of smaller assemblies left to go. There's a bridge and a few miscellaneous details. That's bag number 13. And then we're going to assemble this all together. Last bag of the Ninjago Temple of Airjitzu set. 2 more minifigs. This is Dareth and Naya. In this mini build, we're going to be doing a small bridge. As you can imagine, this construction is fairly symmetrical. I use these curved, what I call horn elements. These go into the hooks that were put in down here. This is just for detail. Now a couple of custom bricks. These are flexible plastic, not quite rubber. I'm not sure. It's kind of rubber, kind of plastic. Put these claw elements at the ends. And then these are going to hook in to these points down here. Goes like that. And then it'll just naturally bend to get to that point. Now, the way it shows in the instructions is it gets over this hook here. I guess that kind of holds it in place. It gives it kind of a profiled, like a curved in 2 directions look, which is kind of neat. Now some custom bricks. These are statues of I think a dragon. These go at the bottom just for extra detail. And there we go, a very simple but nice looking bridge. Next up is some sort of flying apparatus for one of the ninjas. So there's some spears on the back and some wings here. This next assembly looks like a fireworks cart. Not that many pieces. So this can rotate. Very simple cart. Now we have some just 1x1 round studs which go in these receptacles here. Now, oh my goodness, I was not expecting that. This could be, reload that. Okay, there is the central piece of this assembly, so this can rotate. And there's a center core that's got a little tab sticking out. And when that tab hits the bottom of the brick, it's going to pop it out. So as that rotates, that tab right there is going to hit the brick. And if I give it a little bit more of a squeeze, it comes popping right out. Hit my camera. Okay, I want to fire this again, but I'm going to do it into my hand, so this doesn't go everywhere. So just by rotating it, so much for firing it into my hand. There we go. Boy, that works really well. So I think this is meant to be like a fireworks launcher. That's kind of fun. I could keep doing that if I didn't have to keep hunting for all the pieces that went all over my house. There we go, a very effective fireworks launcher. And that's the last small assembly for the set. So now we get to put everything together. There's the main temple, side building number 1, side building number 2. Now, the way these side buildings attach, and do I have them on the right side? I do not. I'm going to put this over here, this one over here. So there are 2 studs coming off the side here. That will allow this to attach to the side of the main temple. Just like that. Now, in between all of that is where this bridge goes. So unless I'm doing this wrong, this doesn't look like it actually attaches. It just sits loosely in between. Well, there we go. That is the Ninjago Temple of Airjitzu set in its entirety. I know I'm missing the top of the temple, but all the details down at the bottom. So a quick recap of all the features. We have a blacksmith shop on this side here. Now this upper roof can easily be removed. So you can look inside. In the blacksmith shop there's a forge. On the upper level of the roof there's another play area, but there's nothing inside the building. On this side it's a market. The roof doesn't come off, but in the back of the market there's a bunch of baskets with some play elements like fish and fruit and bread and other things. Got our fishing poles with the crab hanging off of it. Nice bridge on the front. The rocket launcher or the fireworks launcher. Some sort of flying spear throwing attachment. Nice fountain on the front. Spin this around. And there's the back of the temple. And from one of the previous videos, another interesting feature is this shadow theater right at the bottom here. Again, if I push this in, the light brick will go on. And you can turn the handle and a little shadow theater will show at the bottom. Now I showed that in detail in a previous video because it doesn't show up very well on this view here. Overall, Actually a very nice set. Not too many stickers, a lot of interesting construction, tons of minifigs. I think I read online that this Ninjago set is the only set that has all 5 of the ninjas in one set. Here's just the overall shot of everything. Still can't quite get the top of the temple in view here, but this is about as far back as my camera can go and still be useful. Looks pretty good. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this multi-part build. I'll have something new for next week.